Okay. Hey everybody, this is Coke7 and welcome to Livestream Production Manager version 0.4. Now, before I begin, there's lots of big changes, lots of new things, lots of changes to existing code that I've done in this version. So, before you stream a tournament with this, thoroughly test everything that you're going to be using. Try every new button that you have, see if it does what it is intended to do, and if a button doesn't do anything or it does something wrong, press F12. This opens the developer menu and try to see what the console says. Okay, so let's begin. There's lots of changes. The first one I'm going to show is that there is an optional smooth transition between themes made. And this is currently not available from the start. You need to specifically run this without a debugger to get this to work. I'm going to change that in a future version so that you can basically toggle that. Toggle whether you want a smooth transition or an immediate transition. Okay, so the other changes. Let me first select Smash Brothers Singles. Alright, and now you're going to notice some new buttons here, but first I have a new default value for the score. It's by default 0, 0, 0. That was requested to me on Twitter, so I made that really quickly. Now, there's a Get Latest button here, which basically is self-describing. When you, for example, accidentally close the browser or you refresh the page and you want to quickly start where you left off, just do select the same format again and press Get Latest. And then you get the values that you initially had. And now you see that this button starts pulsating when there have been made unsubmitted changes. And that stops whenever you submit again. And if you change a value, you can see it starts pulsating again. Also, as you can see right here, I added Joker and Hero now. And the application is already prepared for Banjo and Kazooie whenever he comes out. Okay, so I guess Squad Strike is what I want to show next. I developed this also for this version. You see very big form, but let me get latest version. You can make a team, a squad name, the port that they're using. You can select 5 characters and 4 players, which is, I believe, the most you can use. So let me submit that, and everything changes again. Now, this particular overlay, I can imagine that you don't want to show all the characters and all the players. You might only want to show the theme names and the score and the port that they're using. So if you want to do that, let me pull up this overlays HTML file. Everything that you need to do is completely remove the squad player wrapper, and this is going to remove the characters and the players so that you only have this up top. Okay? Now, getting back to the Get Latest version button, you can see that there's also a JSON monitor now. It's basically the same thing as the CSS monitor. It shows you what is last submitted, what has been last updated, and basically I use this to get the latest values. So that's new. You can clear it and you can disable it if you don't want any updates on it. Now, next to this button is a defaults button. Let me show you this on a less complex overlay, less complex format. Now I'm going to press defaults and it resets everything to these values and it makes the score 0, 0 again. It unselects a character and a port. And you might be able to customize that one day. Customize what the player one default value is, but that's for another update. Okay, play this, submit. Now, these monitors, the WebSocket client monitor and the Arrow monitor, were more general monitors, so I added them up top, separate from the competitors' monitors. This one can be cleared and this one can be disabled. Okay, so that's it for the competitors changes. Oh wait, except there's a new info button. Now this basically opens a pop-up modal and it gives you all the technical information that you're going to need about the Ultimate Singles default overlay and how to make your own overlay with these selectors. And there's also a little path to the overlay HTML file so that you can more easily find it in the Windows Directory Explorer. Okay, that's really it for competitors. Now I've also fully developed the commentators. So if you select a series, game, and format, also the overlay preview for this, for commentators, is available. And now I'm going to add a few commentators. Now, give me a few seconds for this. Let's see. Twitter. Now there's only space for 2 commentators, but I added a third one to show you something. Now you can replace this this here with your own logo. That shouldn't be too difficult. Just look it up in the File Explorer where this little white logo comes from and replace it with your own. Okay, so I'm going to update, and basically the exact same thing happens when you submit competitors. Now I'm gonna get a little technical with this, but basically all the code that I used for all of this and the previewing, I didn't copy paste that and then change value names from game to commentary. I made all the existing code more flexible so that I can use the exact same code to do this as I do to do this. This basically halves the amount of code that I was initially going to have, and that's more efficient and just better code. So let's see. I can move commentators around with this button. Let's say I want median 4 to go 1 up, and you see that their position is shuffled and the button starts pulsating again. Now let's see, I'm gonna update, and as you can see, I and median 4 just swapped around in this overlay, and the monitors are updated to reflect that. And so I do that with only changed existing code that's super flexible to be able to be used in both commentary and games. Let's see, I can also remove a commentator and then submit again. That didn't quite work. Alright, before I release the full version, this is gonna be fixed. So basically, what you see now is 99.9% done, just one bug fix. Let's see. Okay, so game overlays. Basically, I noticed that at the bottom of every game overlay.html file, a lot of code was being reused. So I extrapolated all the reused code and split that out in overlay manager.js. And this basically does everything. It does your WebSocket connection. It does fading out and fading in of elements and updating while they're faded out and then fading back in again. And basically it does everything you need. And so in the game overlay, you only need to use this little amount of code, and you need to of course mention game overlay or overlay manager.js. This is a lot nicer to look at. You know, this only having this instead of all of this repeated in every game overlay. Okay. So let's see. And I guess the last thing that I want to show you, last two things, is crews. 5-player crews. Basically, every crew member is now able to have their own character. Or you can just choose to only show the active character. And not use any of this. It's up to you how you're going to use your overlays. Okay, and so the last thing I want to show is a new video menu right here, and this is basically going to be used for video tutorials on how to do certain things with Livestream Production Manager, or how to make certain things for your own. And so the first video tutorial is how to use your own custom-made game overlays in Livestream Production Manager. I was asked how to do that before, so I made a little video about it, and it's available through this menu. So I think that these are the most important changes that I wanted to show for Livestream Production Manager version 0.4. I'm going to fix this bug today and then release the full version. But if you want a look at the full changelog and a small preview of the things I'm planning to do for version 0.5, you know, you can look at this page and see the full changelogs and what is planned. So this has been Guruk7 with Livestream Production Manager version 0.4, and I hope to see you next time for version 0.5. Also everyone, I just fixed the bug, and I added one last thing before I finally released the new version on GitHub. I have a new join the Discord server link right here, and I especially made a little Discord server for Livestream Production Manager so that you can talk. I'll announce new versions, I'll tell you all about new releases, I'll update you on development of the next version, I'll have the opportunity to give you feature suggestions, I'll give you the opportunity to help me out with some small things that I either can't do myself or I don't have the time to do right now. You can bug report without having to contact me on Twitter, and a little bit about LPM Lit. So that was really it. So thank you for watching. See you guys next time.